Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everybody. What's up, Garland? Good to see you. Hey, Tony. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Cynthia, I don't see you. I see a house. Well, we'll take it. We'll take it. Good morning, everybody coming in. Glad you guys are here. Getting everybody in. So, icebreaker question for you guys today. Not that much of an icebreaker, but for you in September. What was your number one reason you feel you didn't close as many deals as you wanted to? Does that question make sense? Number one reason you didn't, you could be very specific. You could say, man, I had this objection that kept coming up and it was not working, right? Or maybe it's a little more general, like Stephanie just shared. The focus, not being in the right headspace, getting in your own way. I understand that. Oh, hold on one second. There's an echo on my side. Cynthia, not picking up the phone as fast as I should. So you had the genuinely asking. So you had like people calling, or do you mean picking up the phone to go call people? Hey, Sonia, good to see you. Glad you're here. Alfred, can't see you, but I do see Sasuke and Natachi. I'm still letting people in. I love it. Love it. So again, the icebreaker question. Make sure you drop in the chat, guys. Garland, looking for the answer to that question. All right. All right. We got to do a little discovery. So Cynthia says picking up the phone to call people, that reluctance. I get it. You tried my Zillow email last week and it's working for you, Cynthia? That's great. That's great, guys. That Zillow email is gold. Don't worry, you'll get a recap for some of you who are like, "Huh? What Zillow email?" Don't worry. That's why we actually do this call once a month because I know you guys can't make it every Wednesday. That's just not realistic. So we do these recap calls of here's all the stuff we taught that you might have missed. Come check it out. And then we'll give you replays and stuff in the newsletter on where to get everything. It's all free. Don't worry. I'm curious, real quick, before we get started, who here is it your first time on one of our Wednesday calls with the Agent Alliance? Garland, first time. I'm curious, Garland, where did you come from? Like, was it maybe Debbie's newsletter or Facebook group? We got a few that it's your first time. Welcome, everybody. Come on now. I'm happy as can be. You guys are here. Debbie's newsletter for Stephanie. There we go. The meetup groups through Debbie. Debbie's amazing. Her and I work together on a lot of stuff. She's awesome. Awesome, awesome. Well, I love it. I'm so glad you guys are here. For many of you, that means this will also be your first Wednesday of the month call, which is where we do these specialized calls. So normally every week, we'll have a very simplified strategy and we'll teach it to you and you'll be able to take action literally by the end of the call. So it's not something that we go tell you to do and then it'll take you 12 months to see results. I don't teach that because you need money and I need money. Um, and so what happens is that when I was first getting started in real estate, people had lots of great ideas and all these great ideas either A, didn't make me money, or B, they took too much time and I'd be too broke by the time they did make me money. So when I started teaching these calls years ago, for free, I don't sell coaching courses, nothing like that. I started doing these calls and I made sure that they were stupidly simple. so we could just go take this piece of thing that really works and go do it right away, right? So that's the what we normally do on these Wednesday calls. And then at the first of the month, um, sorry, I'm getting calls from one of my guests that I have. They're calling me. And so then the first of the month, we do these recap calls where we take the 3 or 4 classes depending on the month, and we show you what we taught. So then you can go, oh, I missed that. I want to see that. And then we send you replays and something. All right. So with that being said, we are 5 after. I value my time. You value your time. We value each other's time. So we can all have a good time. Let's get into it. All right. So first of all, you're making 4 commitments being on this call. Number 1 is video on. So we need to get those videos on, guys. This is a community, not a bunch of blank screens. Plus, I get energy from you guys, getting to see you, seeing you participate, interact. Barbie, there you are. That gives me energy. Remember, I don't make a dime from this. This is a gift to you. So these are just what I'm asking in return, which is just be present with me. Distractions off. Right? We know how it is. Social media, all of these different things that get in their way. A dog barking. Listen, this is here to bless your business. It's proven hundreds and hundreds of times. I don't bring crap to you on these Wednesday calls. I bring you the best that works. Either I've lived it or my partners have lived it. So don't come here and be distracted. Do what you got to do to turn off those distractions, put them away. Okay. Number 3 is participate. It might be a question. It might be a breakout room. We just have different ways to participate. Be involved. Am I lagging, by the way, you guys, or I'm good? I just want to make sure. Give me a thumbs up if I'm good. Okay, good, good, good. All right. We actually just had new internet, so I was like, it could be me. All right. And then last but not least, just go make someone's day. Go find some way to make someone's day, just like I'm trying to do for you. Just go bless someone. I just believe in that. I think it's a very important part. And it is always a good way to build your reputation as someone who serves and blesses others. So with that being said, let's get into it. So one of the biggest mistakes I saw agents make last month in September was ignoring price drops. Even when it's not your listing, I've seen this happen, and that's a huge miss. And obviously the solution is that you can turn that price drop into 2 new listings. I've been teaching this one for a while. It is so good. But before we get into this real quick, how many of you are seeing price drops in your market? Just drop it in the chat like, yes, you're seeing price drops. If you have your video on, you can raise your hand if you're seeing price drops. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, this is worth listening to. And remember, especially those who are new, we're going to go through this very fast. This is like quick recaps. And then you'll have the links to the replays, the slides, and everything. We'll send them to you. So don't worry if you're like, well, that was too fast. He didn't even really break it down. That's not what today is. All right. So we had Joe Rosen come on, and he shared one of his favorite strategies, which is using price drops to get 2 new listings. He's been doing this for years. And it works so well. So the first thing you do is you just pick a recent price drop. You can actually go farther back. This works well, but recent ones tend to be a great source as well. Okay. And it doesn't have to be yours. Okay. It doesn't even have to be your price drop. It can be totally someone else's. So that's one of those things that makes a strategy great, because some of you don't have listings, or some of you don't have price drops to utilize. Don't worry. There are plenty. Okay. You can search your MLS or Zillow for these price drops. What I would do is then find one price drop with a clear recent price drop. So meaning that it's not Open Door used to do this. They'd be like $1,000. They'd drop a week. Okay. Don't use things like that. That's not a real price drop. Okay. That Open Door does that $1,000 drop because it refreshes on a lot of different MLSs to keep them new. But it's not real price drops. You're going to want like a 5, 10, bigger price drops, obviously draw more attention. Okay. So you find that listing. Again, if it's your listing, that's a bonus, because hopefully you're about to help your listing sell sooner too. So once you have your price drop listing, Now you need to find the people you're going to call about this. Yes, calling, but these are actually very easy calls because you're calling them to tell them that they're about to get a better deal on a house, that they're about to save, let's say it's $20,000 on a house. That's actually a good deal. Okay. So you're going to locate the numbers and the contacts to reach out to around that price drop. Yes, I'm talking neighbors. The best resources that we use for this is stuff like RedX. RedX is probably the most popular one. It's also one of the most affordable. It's less than $100 a month and has a bunch of other features. You can also pull the nearby homeowners numbers from other sources. Sometimes title companies can do this for you. It just depends where you're at. But matters in your own hands, I would use RedX. And then you're going to target the homeowners in that immediate area around. Okay. And we'll tell you roughly the numbers that you need to hit this 2 listings from 1 price drop. Remember, if you have questions along the way, drop them in there because I usually have a lot of extra time on these first of the month Wednesday calls to go over any and all questions that you might have. Okay. I give that extra time to bless you guys. Okay, so then you'll follow the script. We're going to put this because we don't have time to role play it. We role played it when we did it live with Joe. So we'll send you the replay where you heard Joe role play it live. He did phenomenal. And then we'll actually give you the script too on the newsletter. And so you use our script for the price drop. And then that's it. And this is one of Joe's favorite strategies. Now, one stat I didn't bring into you because I want to not spoil it for you is how many price drops do you think are set to happen in the next 30 days? Like of the percentage. So let's say there's 100% of houses in your area. Of those, what percent do you think are going to hit a price drop in the next 30 days? I should be very clear. In the next 30 days. You guys are pretty close. Some of you, I guess there's a wide range here. So 1 out of every 3 houses in the next 30 days is probably going to have a price drop. So if you're getting listings, don't you think it's probably going to be important that you have a price drop plan for your clients? Would you agree? That you have a plan because it's statistically very likely that your listing is going to end up with a price drop. So you need a plan to show your clients that how you handle price drops when they happen. Okay? And then 2, most agents will not ever do the price drop strategy, even though it's super easy. It's way better than normal cold calling because people tend to be more receptive when you're bringing them something like a deal, right? When you're not just trying to convince them to list. And so it's a great, great strategy. So you have limited competition doing this, okay? And also, price drop means it's a better deal. It means it became more affordable, which means your buyer pool, the listings, whoever you're calling about it, it makes it more affordable, more accessible for them. Okay, so that's the price drop strategy. Again, we have full replays, role plays, and slides for that specific call. We'll drop in the newsletter on Friday, and we'll teach you how to subscribe to the newsletter. It's free, don't worry. So price drop. Who here, just real quick, who here is interested in the price drop strategy? I just want to know that. Okay. You guys think is yeah? Okay, good. If you're not using price drops, you're missing out because your clients need this and it'll make you look so much better when you can go into a listing appointment. Because remember, what does the average agent do when they go into a listing appointment? They butter them up. Your house is beautiful and it's so perfect and it's amazing, even if it's a dump. Okay. And then they're going to tell them, yeah, those other agents didn't price right. But I price perfectly and we're going to get you all the money and everything's going to be great. That's not how the market works. The agents don't decide this. We don't decide this, guys, right? But that attitude is why people think we do. The market decides. The truth is, if I'm going into, and I've done this many times, if I'm going in and I'm up against Sonia, Tony, and Robert going into a listing appointment and I know there's other agents, okay? I'm going to do my normal presentation, right? I'm going to talk about the things I do. Great, 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 great. And then I'm going to look them in the face and I'm going to say, have they talked about price drops in this market? Oh, did I blag out there for a second? All right, am I back? You guys good? My internet cut out. Um, So I'm going to look at them and ask them, have they talked to you about price drops? Now, what do you think they usually say when I do this? No. Nobody talks about price drops. Why? Because it's a negative thing. And nobody wants to be the bearer of bad news. Nobody wants to risk losing, right, a listing because they won't talk about it. And for me, I'll go, oh man, that's so unfortunate that they didn't tell you about price drops. Yeah, in our market, almost one out of every three homes, even if they're priced perfectly, will still hit a price drop. And the thing is that hurts you, doesn't it? That cuts into your profit, doesn't it? Right? So now I'm getting them thinking about themselves. And then I'll add into that. But I just want you to know I'm a pro at price drops. I handle this like a champ. Okay. And let me explain. And then I show them the strategy that I show you in this replay of how I handle price drops. And then it makes them feel so much better because then they go, well, why didn't the other agents tell us about this? And honestly, guys, isn't that a good question? Why didn't the other agents tell them about something that's very likely to happen to them? Seems a little suspicious, right? What else are they withholding? And on top of that, it's comforting to know that I have a plan that even when they have to sacrifice more of their profit, I have a plan to make the most of it. I'm going to go get someone to buy this home. I'll call 300 people, your closest neighbors, and make sure that we're going to find someone to buy this house. I'm not just going to sit and hope that the price drop works. Give me a thumbs up if you follow me on that. You guys follow me on that? Do you see what I'm saying and why this is so critical? It'll help you win more listings. It'll help you sell more listings, even if you have a price drop, and it'll help you get more listings. Boom. All right, next. Mistake number 2 that I saw, this is a whole bunch right here, is missing out on the house next door. Let me explain what this means. This is just sold. And so you need to call the neighbors, and I'll explain this. So we talked about price drops and calling all the neighbors. How about just sold? Whether it's your house or someone else's house, it just sold. Most of the time, for the vast majority of agents, when a house sells, they go, phew, that's done. And they're counting the dollars in their commission, right? And hoping it's in their bank account and that title wired it and everything went through perfectly. That's the normal response. Now, the way you should be responding is, how many people can I call to tell them this house just sold? Guys, your neighbors are nosy. Would you agree? Come on now. Don't deny it. We are nosy people. We are so nosy. Okay, we're nosy people. That's a good thing for real estate agents, by the way, because we can lean into that nosy curiosity to open up doors for conversations with the neighbors. So if I just sold a house or someone just sold a house in this neighborhood around me, and I start calling all the neighbors, I can literally say, hey, your neighbor over there just sold their house for X dollars. What do you think about that? I just have a conversation, man. I don't even make it weird. And we have a great script you can follow that's really set. And Gus is a pro. He has booked over 3,000. It's actually more like 4,000 because that was from the first time we did it. About 4,000 listing appointments from this script. That's a lot of listing appointments. Do you think it works? Right? So it's really quick. I'm going to show you what this one is. So one is you find the right listing. This is easy. Pick an area you want to work in because you might be like, Robert, there are so many just sold. I don't even know which one to start with. Which one do I do? Pick an area you want to work with, a community, right? There's a Three Rivers community down there. It's a nicer area. I kind of like it. I'd like to break into there. Great. I'm going to pick a just sold in there. I'm going to try and find it as close to the median price as possible. Anybody want to take a guess why we would target a median price? Drop it in the chat if you know why. Why would we target a median price household versus super low, which would get a lot of attention, or super high, which also might get a lot of views because it's pretty and it's got a lot of nice stuff? Why would we target median? Easy. That's right. You guys knew. Piece of cake. There's more people to buy it. If it's the median, there's going to be more people to buy that property. So duh, we want to reach more people. Easy. right? You can do recently sold in 30 days. Usually that's better because it's fresh and it's on people's minds. And then also they're going to have reminders as they see the moving trucks, as they see the buyers moving in. They're going to see these things that almost remind them. So more recent, the better, but you can go farther back on just solds, right? Because time is very subjective, right? Garland might be like, 1 week is recent to him, right? But then Stephanie might be like, man, 3 months might be recent to her. It just depends. So you can go far back if you want to, but I've always found that the more recent, the better. Because again, if you can catch them when they're outside and they see the new moving trucks, it's almost like a subtle reminder. Hey, remember that conversation you had with Robert? Let's be talking about that again. Let's be thinking about that. Okay. So I gave you a quick example in here, but we kind of already talked about it. So then you make your call list. Remember, we talked about Red X. Do you see how useful Red X is? Um, Stephanie, good question. We'll get to that in a second. I love it. And if you guys have more questions like what Stephanie did, drop them in the chat. Do not be shy. I'm going to really pour into you and help you out because we're moving fast and I love it because that gives us extra time to talk. Okay. So Red X, Mojo. Sometimes you might mix and match. I think Mojo has a better CRM and I think Red X has a better way to draw leads. So you might use both. You can use a professional ISA service. Now, this is something I want to emphasize, and most people won't because they love to spend your money for you. Do not buy an ISA until you know how to do this right yourself. Otherwise, you will throw away money. You won't be able to hold those ISAs to a standard. You won't know if they're doing their job right. Won't know how to critique them. And you will lose money time and time again because you don't understand the process. Okay. So yes, you can hire an ISA. Do it after you've closed one or two deals from this process. Because here's the thing, you just paid for your ISA for a year by doing that anyway. Right? Okay. And then, of course, if you don't want to pay for a service that gets the leads for you or calls the leads for you, you could door knock. That is one way to go talk to people. You will have to door knock a lot, just like you would with cold calling, but it's free. Free is good. And again, some title companies, I'm seeing less and less title companies as they crack down on information. So I bet you'll title companies, you could probably convince a lender and a title company though to pay or help pay for any expense you have here. That's a whole different call that I'll do about properly having real partnerships in real estate. That's a whole different call. All right, then we have a script. Don't worry, you'll get the script too. We hook you up so much. You guys here for the first time, you're getting spoiled, man. This is like Christmas. You're getting so much stuff. All right, we have a great script. We also role played the script in the replay with Gus live. That's what we do for you, so it's awesome. And so who here has ever used or is going to use the Just Sold? I'm just a little curious. Drop it in the chat or raise your hand if you have video on. I'm curious. Stephanie said, you've just used it or you're going to. I will use it. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I like these ones. These ones are fun. Like the ones where you're trying to go for a sale, those conversations really suck. They're really crappy, awful conversations to have. I'm just being real with you. I'm not saying they don't work. I'm just saying I don't like it. I don't like calling Garland cold and somehow in that conversation trying to convince him to do something he is in no way prepared to do. He doesn't know me. We have no trust. And somehow I'm supposed to get him to want to list with me. But I do like calling Garland and saying, hey, Garland, did you know your neighbor just sold this house? Wait, what? Janice? Yeah. It just works different. It just flows better. Okay? That's why I like these ones. All right. And then last mistake we saw, this is my personal favorite, if I may so say so myself. This is my personal favorite because it's so stupidly easy and you can do it all the time. It's amazing. All right. So is thinking Zillow is just a competitor? Who here thinks that Zillow is a competitor or has been thinking Zillow's the enemy, Zillow's a competitor? And no, we're not talking about buying Zillow leads, right? I think that's a very common mentality. If you're super rich and you got all the money, you think Zillow is an ally because you can buy out zip codes and get all the leads yourself. Of course, someone would think Zillow is an ally there. But if you're not that person, you probably typically feel that Zillow is the enemy. What if we could use Zillow for free? to get more listings, to get more buyers. Hmm. I like that. I like that. Use their own strength against them, right? So that's what we do. Again, I can't emphasize this is one of my favorite and easiest strategies ever to do, and it works so incredibly well. Okay. You're going to write an email. Okay. A 60-second Zillow email for your past clients. But I always emphasize you could use this for past clients, but realistically, you could just use this for anybody that you have an address for and or an email or phone number. So it does not have to be past clients. This works extremely well without them. It works with leads in general. You could even pull addresses and emails through certain services like RedX if they have it available and use it for this too. So I just want to emphasize, if you don't have a past client, this still applies to you as long as you can get an address and or a phone number or email to do this. All right. So you identify your past clients and or the people you're just going to reach out to. Again, one last time, homeowner, and that you just have an email or phone number to contact them through. Okay. Then you're going to look them up. And I already said everything here. Typically, if they've been in the home for a year, though, that's a better sweet spot. The longer they've been in the home, the more equity they're going to have, the better the next slide will look for them. Okay. All right. So definitely the longer they've been in the home, the better, because obviously if they've only been in for a year or less, they're probably statistically not going to be moving. That's not always the case, but I want you to have the best success. So the longer they've been in home, the better for this strategy. Next, you're just going to go grab a screenshot. Yes, a screenshot. You're going to go to Zillow. You're going to enter the address of this lead, right? Or past client. You're going to screenshot showing the Zestimate and address on it. Yes, the Zestimate. Okay. And fun fact, by the way, I know we like to joke about how inaccurate Zestimates are. They're 94.6% accurate. So we get to see the highlights of the ones that are absurdly wrong, but actually Zestimates tend to be fairly accurate. Okay. Just letting you know. It doesn't matter if it's accurate or not, by the way. It could be so wildly off, low or high, this strategy works. So that's another nice thing is the Zestimate is just a talking point. Okay. So you screenshot the picture of their house. I think I put in, did I? Yeah. Okay, I did. Here's an example of what you're doing, right? This is one I actually did. All right. So I screenshot. It's off market, obviously, because I'm not calling people who are with an agent. The front of their house, got the street view, price. There's the Zestimate right there. Zestimate's there too. But I always like to have two just to make sure. Okay. And this is all you're doing. That's the screenshot. Super easy. Okay. And even if you wanted to, you could circle in red the Zestimate here and just emphasize it for them. It feels very personal that way. Okay. So notice how easy that is. Can we all nod our heads? That's very easy for us to do. We can go to Zillow, and if you're on your phone, you can usually do a screenshot. You just got to make sure you get the picture of their house, the address, and the Zestimate in it. Okay. Because it's important that they can associate all those things to themselves. All right. Now, in the cases that there is no Zestimate available, this does happen sometimes with land. I typically wouldn't use this with land. It's a little bit harder to do. Zillow is not very good on Zestimates with land. They tend to not be. Actually, most people are terrible at estimating land in general. It is difficult. It takes a lot more work, and most people don't do it. Right? So you can check Realtor.com or Redfin to try and see if they have their own version of a Zestimate, right, available to you. Or you can just do a quick one in your local MLS, right? You can be the Zestimate. Just a quick, simple one, right? So once you do that, we're going to RPR. Yes, RPR is good. I don't remember if is that NAR total or is that just your association? I don't remember who gets it. I don't know if that's an NAR perk or if that's your local association perk. Oh, you're right. Yeah, it is NAR perk. Yeah, so you can definitely use RPR as well. And there's others. You guys are nailing it. Some of your CRMs will have services like this too. So then you're going to draft the email. Look how easy. Just allow yourselves to see how easy this is. The subject is Zillow right about your home? Take that in for a second. That is a way better subject line than what most people are getting in their inboxes. Don't deny it. If you got this in your own email and you're a real estate agent and something said, "Is Zillow right about your home?" You know you're opening that. You know you're opening that. You can't help it, right? Even if you have a preconceived notion. Now, they're going to be wrong. Doesn't matter. You're still going to open it. You're still going to check, right? And then here's the body of the email. We'll just pretend it's Garland. Hi Garland, Zillow says your home is worth $425,000. You put that screenshot that you did right in the body, right there. So that's your proof. Don't trust me. I'm not manipulating facts here. Here's the screenshot. I'm proving it to you, right? So put the screenshot there. Do you agree? I have my own thoughts, but am curious to hear yours. Hope all is well. Name and phone number. Was that complicated? No. Now, I know some of you have used it before. So in real estate, a response rate between 1 and 3% would be pretty good. 3% would be on the higher end. What do you guys think we get on a response rate on this on average? Let's take a guess. Drop it in the chat. 5. 5 would be amazing. Yeah. Linda, 30. Sonia, 10. Yeah. So we have gone from 10% all the way up in some cases to 50%. It's easy. It's simple. It's curiosity driven. It's honest. It's amazing. This strategy works so well. We've had people do this who did it at the end of the call. They sent it to 100, 200 people, whatever, in their database, because this is very easy to copy and paste, right? The screenshot is what will take you the most time, but even that shouldn't take you that much. So they went and did this. And by the time they hit like the 50th person, so they went and did 200, I think it was like 200 people. But by the time they hit the 50th person, they got a response from one of the people, and then they ended up showing them a house the next day and went under contract. Now, obviously, that's the dream story, okay? I'm not going to sell you on that's going to be your scenario every time. But I'm showing you this was an agent who's already very good at what they do. She sells 40 homes a year. And even for her, this was a strategy she never thought of and was like, wow, this got someone who wasn't talking to me for 3 months talking to me again. Right? Super easy. I must stress though, make sure you put the screenshot in the body of the email right as I show you here. That's very, very important. I would not tweak much on this either because this is so tried and true and proven. We tend to want to do extra. Don't do the extra. Keep it simple. Okay. All right. So now I'm curious from you guys, which one do you struggle with the most? So price drops, just solds and not utilizing them, or not having, not using Zillow as an asset, but rather viewing it as an enemy. I don't remember. Did we make a poll for this? I don't think we made a poll for this, did we? Oh, I forgot. So I'm curious. Well, yeah, a lot of twos. I wasn't thinking. Garland said all. Thank you for the transparency. I'm sure there's some others who can relate here. 2 is winning by far. Well, that's crazy. Linda, all. There we go. It was definitely all for me. But then when you started doing these 3 things, which are very simple, they're not hard to do, all of a sudden your business just starts to change. Your confidence changes too because you know how to handle these different aspects of your business. When other agents are whining and complaining about Zillow, you're like, really? They just helped me get another listing. They just helped me get another buyer. And they go, well, how much did you spend on leads? 0. I ain't going to pay them. Heck no. All right. And then like the just solds. Most of the time when we're envious, oh my gosh, they just sold. It's even worse when it's a just sold in your neighborhood. All right, take that frustration, take that down on yourself. I dropped the ball, and pick the ball up and use the just sold. Go take what someone else, that other agent isn't going to do it. You go do it. You take that just sold, you go make these calls, you go pick up new listings and make yourself feel a lot better about the fact that a house sold in your neighborhood and it wasn't with you. And then price drops. I can't stress the price drops enough. This is just part of the norm in our market. And if you don't have a strategy, one, to help your client, if it's your client going through a price drop, and how you're going to help them make sure they get their home sold versus just always losing more money. Are you making these calls? Are you actually sacrificing like they're sacrificing? They just took 20 grand off of their home. What did you do? I'd rather it not be your commission, by the way. So, one of the best ways to not have to drop your commission is to go provide more value. I'm going to go make 300 dials to get this home sold. And in exchange, you're also going to earn 2 new listings. That's our proven data that we do with that. But it definitely seems like missing out on the house next door, the just sold, is the winner there. Okay, so then we're going to go into, let's see, newsletter. Oh, yeah. Every call, we just do this. We do this on our Wednesday calls. I just want you guys to say it with me real quick, okay? Because a lot of you already said this. Ready? Things need to change. And I will change. All right. Now we do questions. We're going to drop the newsletter. We'll send you all the replays, slides, everything like that, because those were just recap calls. Like I said, they're much more role plays, in depth. They're hour-long calls, so you'll get a lot more with that. The scripts. So we're going to drop the newsletter link for you. You can sign up. Remember, it's all free. We don't have anything to sell. And you can get involved in that way. And then questions. Drop those questions in the chat if you want, and I will answer them for you the time that I have remaining. Wow, we did so fast today, guys. This might have been the fastest call we've ever done. Normally, we finish right around 45, 50, but this one was fast. Misa, go ahead and drop the Garland. You actually can. You can go to our YouTube, and it's already on there. It's just for our scheduling and our time. Fridays is just when we send it out because we need time to put it all together in a newsletter. But if you don't want to wait, you just go to our our YouTube channel. We'll drop that in the chat too. So Misa, drop the newsletter and the YouTube channel in the chat for them. And then you go to our live tab, and then you'll just have to find the replay in there. But yeah, if you don't want to wait, go do that. We got you. Like, we don't mind. Yeah. All right. So drop questions in the chat, or if you have video on, I will also let you unmute. We just only let people with video on unmute. So security thing, because there are weird people that come into Zoom sometime. I did see a question earlier. Let's see. A lot of subdivisions in South Carolina do not solicit. How to get around that? Door knocking, or at least door hanging. Okay, so soliciting business. So one is, you need to understand, what does soliciting business actually mean? What is solicitation? Your HOA, usually they'll just copy and paste from what like the city solicitation laws are or the county solicitation laws are. They very rarely create their own. So you need to know first what that means. Most of the time, it's literally knocking on someone's door and soliciting business. Those are very easy to get around. Now, I want to emphasize something. Always be respectful. Always be considerate, right? Treat others the way you want to be treated. Okay? I want to emphasize that before I give you this advice, right? So always start with that. Okay? If you wouldn't want someone to do it to you, do not do it to them. That's why I don't door knock. I'm not mad or anything. I just grew up. Most of you don't know this. I grew up in the ghetto. We've had windows shot out. I've had people break into our house and steal stuff. So when someone knocks on my door, I have my hand on my gun, because that's the way I was raised. That's the life that I lived, right? So I don't like people knocking on my door, right? Now, there are plenty of other people who don't mind, right? Who don't care, or they're indifferent, or they're whatever. As long as you don't waste my time and you give me something good, it's fine, right? So just decide for yourself. Now, so go look at the solicitation laws and then just literally read it, and then you'll know what you can do. Let's say that they say you cannot enter someone's property and solicit business. Okay, so that means you could drop off a gift in their mailbox, right? You could. I'm saying that's the law. You just have to decide for yourself what the law stipulates. Some of them will let you drop off a gift in their mailbox. Maybe they have a centralized mailbox, so that's a lot harder to do, right? Okay, so maybe you need to drop off a gift on their doorstep. But again, this just depends on the neighborhood and the solicitation laws. It's your job to know, right? It's your job to kind of figure it out. There's lots of ways to get around it. The other thing that you can do is if you can't, and this is happening in New York, especially these bigger places, you can't cold call them. You can't door knock, right? Usually you can still get mailers. It's pretty hard for them. So I would go with mailers and have very engaging mailers. You can use the exact same strategy that I gave you for just solds and price drops and do a mail form of that. It's going to take longer, duh. But if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. At the end of the day, you have a job to provide for your family. And if you're not doing that through real estate, you got to step up your game and figure it out, right? And obviously, I'll be here every week to help you figure it out. But yeah, so you can use mailers to do that in place of solicitation. You just need to be really, yeah, be very respectful of solicitation laws. And technically, there's a lot of places that get around the solicitation laws because they don't solicit business. They offer free services and free things. That's a very common thing. You could do that. Just make sure you're genuine and make sure it's a real value proposition, right? Make sure you're actually bringing something to someone that makes their day. And you'll find that most people won't mind you. And some will even work with you. All right. And then there was another one. Does RedX give you those numbers and are they scrubbed for do not call? RedX does scrub them for do not call. The problem is that you need, you don't know when they were scrubbed. So you need to verify when you buy leads from anyone, by the way, right? Because Zillow, by the way, will do this too. Zillow makes this mistake as well. Everybody makes this mistake no matter how good they are. So just understand that. Everybody makes this mistake. Um, they might buy a list, a do not call. They might do a do not call, and then the person a week ago was fine. And then something happened the last week, and then they added themselves to the do not call registry. Okay, so it's going to be kind of hit or miss. But RedX is usually very good about it. If they weren't, they'd be out of business. So they typically do a pretty good job on making sure they're not on the do not call. Because again, they'd kind of be out of business. That's their bread and butter is these geo leads. What CRM system do you use? I use Lofty. That's because it's provided by my brokerage, and I don't like spending any money that I don't have to. And Lofty's this is a good CRM. I'd put in the top three. I think Follow Up Boss, Lofty are probably the top two CRMs for me. And then I think a bunch of them kind of tie for third place. To be honest, the best CRM is the one that you use. Really, most agents don't even use the CRM. So, yeah. All right, let's get some more questions. I think I saw some things. The Zillow message would be a cool postcard mailer. It works phenomenal there. I mean, remember, mailers take a lot more time. We're actually going to be doing a mailer class soon on how to do really strategic, like community-based mailers that are like fun and engaging to where like people love you for them. But that's a whole different call that we'll do. Hopefully, actually, this month. Let's see. All right. Any more questions? Did I miss anything? Can you show us the script? Which script, Linda? Just sold or the price drop? What I'll do is we'll put the scripts in the newsletter. We'll put both of them, the just sold and the price drop scripts. So you'll have both, and then you can just access them as you need them. Okay. Any more questions, guys? I think we got most of the stuff there. If it was your first time, that was probably overwhelming. Remember, this is a recap call. This is everything that we did in September that we taught. If one of them stood out to you, go check out the replay, the slideshow, the script with it, and all of that. Okay? Awesome. Are you from San Diego too? I've done a lot of work in San Diego. I've lived in Long Beach, North Hollywood, Garden Grove. I've been all over the place. I lived in Canada, was actually a permanent resident, had a green card in Canada. But most recently, for the last 7, 8 years, I live in just outside of Nashville. So, yeah, that's where I call home. All right. Any other questions? And this does not have to be about the 3 calls. I always tell you guys, this is time I give to you. Maybe you have some other random questions that you've been looking for some help on and didn't want to hire a $200 an hour coach. So I'll give you that next 10, 15 minutes if you guys have some additional questions. Maybe you're running into an objection and you just don't know how to handle it. Maybe you have a random question about follow up, whatever. If you guys have those questions, this would be the time to utilize me. Remember, there's no charges for this. I'm just here to bless you. God's given me a great life in real estate that I never imagined I'd have and definitely don't feel I deserve. And so I just try to give back as much as I can to you guys so that hopefully you can have the same, or maybe some of you are even doing better than me. And then we can link up and you can come teach a class with me and bless others the way that you've been blessed, right? So, any other random real estate questions or anything like that, guys? Don't be shy. You can also do the little like raise hand symbol or whatever, and I can unmute you. All right, let's see. Stephanie says, I relocated to South Carolina 3 years ago after being a realtor for 15 years in Illinois. Okay, bit of a transition there. Didn't know anyone. How would you suggest increasing my business? Yeah, I mean, this is a great question. When I moved to Tennessee, I had no friends, no family. I was pretty significantly in debt, um, no job, and I just went all in on real estate. And for the first 8 months, I sold nothing. So you can imagine my debt kept going up. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm telling you my story, just to be clear. um, and then by the end of my first year, I sold 34 homes. And so there's a lot of different ways to do this, but one of the most underutilized things that I am seeing agents just totally ignore is new construction. Not going and selling for a builder, but rather doing open houses 2 to 3 days a week at plans for new construction, advertising lists with incentives from new construction, and constantly doing videos and showcasing new construction. New construction is one of the easiest, simplest ways for someone to get in a home. They usually will have incentives to help pay down costs. Oftentimes, they'll even do a rate buy down. And a lot of new construction will still, there's a couple builders, we all know them, that don't pay agents, but a lot of builders still pay agents, right? They will still. A good example is D.R. Horton. They love agents. They pay agents very well. They'll do more bonuses too for agents than any other builder I've ever seen. I one time they paid 6% for the buyer side, right? So that is a great way to get out there because open houses crush it if you do them consistently, right? You also know that the builder's driving traffic to that community. So you have a much more high likelihood that people will show up to your open house because the builder's trying to push people to it anyway. You're not competing with the listing agent because they're not allowed to be the buyer's agent. So you're not really competing as much. Okay. The homes look nicer. They tend to be empty, which means that it's a little bit more free for you to be there. You're not coordinating around schedules, right? So new construction is a phenomenal way to get out there and build business. Other ways that I really like to build when you're, again, new, maybe you don't have a big sphere or something like that. So, again, new construction, that's one I used a lot. But I also used Facebook groups. The thing I'll tell you, though, is Facebook has been banning people more for sending comments and DMs. I've been seeing that more and more. So, I used to send out between 500, 600 messages a week, every single week, to people on Facebook. You probably can't do that now. I'm just seeing Facebook ban more. So I like Facebook groups a lot, but I think you'll have to be more strategic of getting into the comments or providing value, meaning not salesy gimmicks like free home valuation. Like they'll just go to Zillow. They're probably already on Zillow, so they don't really see that as a value proposition for them. Okay. But you might turn around. This is a very, very good one for building in your local community. So you have the new construction, phenomenal. Okay. Another great one is a newsletter, a local community newsletter that's like your city events that are happening. Here's one awesome event that's happening this Saturday. People love that. People absolutely love just knowing what's going on in their city, especially if it's free. And then you can build over time. That's much more Facebook friendly because you can just be sharing this event. You can go to the event and connect with people. You can tell people, I'm going to be at the event. Come say hi, right? We're talking farmers markets. We're talking a band that's coming into town. We're talking about an Easter thing, a Christmas thing, a Halloween thing. You become the resource for community. That makes people trust you and like you and stand out from agents who just have commission breath, right? They like you. You actually contributed to their family. You actually made their day better. Then you have a relationship. Then you start talking. And then Adam's like, man, I like this guy. He knows me. We've talked to him. Maybe he went to an event that I suggested. Maybe we met at the event I suggested. And now he trusts me more than all the other agents who have been trying to get him to list his home or to buy a home, right? So if you combine new construction with that newsletter, okay, and then you trickled in, if you need the business immediately, you trickled in the Zillow, the just sold list stuff in between because those are much faster, right? The newsletter will take time. You're going to build that up over time. It'll be great. It's also follow up, by the way, because it can go to everybody in the city for the most part, right? So it's phenomenal follow up too, right? That'll take time. New construction, that's just going to be a couple days of the week. So you have all that extra time. That's where I would come in with like the just sold, the price drop. Those are phenomenal for getting business much sooner. So you combine those together, you would be able to do 30, 40 homes every single year without a doubt. Our whole thing, like we've taught this many times, I stopped teaching it just because of a time thing, but we proved it. We used to have a challenge called the 100K in 100 days. And the vast majority of agents who followed the plan, not even perfectly, did like 50% of it. Almost all of them made over 100K in 100 days. And then the ones who followed it, let's say 75%, Logan's not here. He actually stopped coming to the Wednesday calls because he had so much business. I know this because I work with him now. And Logan was doing between 300 and 500K a year now. So he went from doing a couple deals a year to doing a couple deals a week in some instances, right? Seth Brown's another one. He was doing like 5 deals roughly every 9 or 6 months, so not enough, right? And now he's doing a closing roughly every 1 to 2 weeks, right? So 2 to 3 closings a month. It's pretty good business, right? And so a lot of these strategies that we teach just comes from this. All right, I just realized there's some questions. You sold 34 homes in 4 months. That's correct, but it wasn't in 4 months, Garland. It was a year's worth of work that didn't pay until the last 4 months. I had no idea, and I can't tell you, my wife will tell you, how much anxiety there was with just like, is this going to work? But here's what I trusted. I trusted the people who are successful who told me just follow the process, meaning if you hit these numbers, you will get these results. And I was like, man, I prayed to God every single day for wisdom and discernment, and he didn't tell me to step away. So I said, okay, I'm just going to work my butt off. And I worked so hard. I made thousands of contacts a month and open houses and videos, and I did everything I could possibly do. My wife was pregnant at the time too, right? She did not have a job because I wanted her to be able to fulfill her dream of being a stay-at-home mom. And so I did everything I had to do. And then right at the roughly 8-month mark, I had my first closing. And then it was like a waterfall from all of those 8 months of work that I put into it. But I'm telling you, I probably worked harder than most of you combined. That's just the truth. I'm not being mean. Now, some of you, I don't know you. So maybe you're a monster, all right, and you crush it. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you doing 15 deals. If that's what your family needs, that's fine. I'm just saying for me, I was willing to work harder than the vast majority of people. I was willing to fail more, be rejected more, be embarrassed more, and it worked. And then I got to do, the next year, I got to do way less of the things I didn't like, right? I didn't have to do, I stopped doing cold calling. I stopped doing door knocking because I had enough business and I found things that I were good at that aligned better with my business, right? All right, let's see. I don't love any of the smart campaigns in Lofty. Do you have better ones? I don't believe in most campaigns. I'm going to be real with you. I think most campaigns in all CRMs, even the proven ones, suck. And the reason why is that people have been getting canned stuff for so long, it always doesn't resonate. Just use the newsletter for local events, and that's a much better follow-up campaign. Use the Zillow email that actually provides value and piques curiosity, and that's a much better follow-up campaign. Use real value, and that's your campaign. So I would have a checklist for buyers. Here's what I send them, and most buyers are going to get this. And then for sellers, here's what I send them. It'll require a little manual labor, but I don't really believe in the automation of follow-up anymore. I used to, by the way. I automated so much. And then I saw the numbers go down. And I saw because more and more people are just getting these automated things. And with AI, they're only going to get more automations. They're only going to get more things, and they're going to lose that personal touch. But you're a real person, and they need to know you're a real person. So I would ditch the campaigns, have a great checklist that says for everybody in my CRM, they're going to get every week, I'm going to send them one event they should be attending in their local town, right? And then maybe some of your follow-up campaign for your buyers is the new construction that you're doing. Hey, Tony, I know you're in the 350K range. I am at this house right behind me. It is beautiful. And I thought of you, just want to send you a quick video. Look at this beauty. Let me know if you want to see everything else about it. Talk to you later. And if the builder has any sort of incentives. Oh, and I forgot to mention, they are doing 10K towards builder incentives. Okay? And they're doing a rate buy down. That's a big deal. But don't worry, no pressure. Just let me know if you want to know the details. Right? I do follow up like that. Well, Robert, I have 500 people follow up. I can't do 500 videos like that. Great, then make the video kind of generic. Hey, I just saw this beautiful new construction behind me, and I thought of you because check this out. It's got 3 beds, 2 baths, right? Blah, 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 blah. It's in the right price range, and here's some of the incentives, right? That's what I had to start doing, right? In the beginning of building up my contact base, I had time to do personal ones. And then all of a sudden I had 500 people, 1,000 people to follow up. That's way too much, right? So then I started to make them a little, they're still personal because it's still me and it is still relevant to them, right? You guys follow me on this? I hope you're following me on the different ways that I believe follow-up works and converts at a much higher rate. I know the dream is automation, but it just typically doesn't work. Also, the other thing is I'm just always thinking about people. And so I'm constantly following up anytime I can find something relatable. So let's say Robert's one of my leads. And I happen to know that Robert's in the military, or maybe he's a vet. Okay, and maybe I'm turning around and I'm at Home Depot and they have a vet discount. I will do follow-up to Robert about that. I'll be like, hey, Robert, did you know, you probably knew this already. I probably sound stupid, but did you know Home Depot has a vet discount? And I know you're a veteran, so I just wanted to throw that out there. If you did, well, then just ignore me. And I know that sounds silly, guys, but that kind of follow-up crushes. Because Robert's like, man, he actually thought of me. He actually remembered something about me. He actually cares about me. And that crushes. It really does. It just does so well. And if you think about it, wouldn't it do so well for you? You guys get all those texts from signing up for health insurance. You're about to get a whole bunch more with open enrollment. But what if one of those people, one of those texts, instead of, hey, Linda, don't miss the open enrollment window. We can get blah, 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 blah. What if one of the texts was like, hey, Linda, I know that you love, I don't know, books. And there is an awesome book fair happening on Saturday. So when I make notes about clients, I'll try to get the generals, right, their real estate needs, but I'm going to try and hook on something important. Adam has an awesome beard. I'm actually going to make a note in my CRM that Adam has an awesome beard. Okay? And I'm going to find a way to incorporate the beard into my follow-up. I might even, let's say, I can't think of anything, guys, right? There's no beard parade going on. There's no sale for beard oil. I can't find anything. Here's what I would do. You ready for this? You guys are going to laugh. I would take a selfie, okay? And then I would draw on that selfie a beard like Adam's. And then I would send that to Adam. I'd be like, Adam, what do you think? I was trying to mimic your beard. I'm not quite there yet. Do you think it works, or should I just leave it as is? Dude's going to laugh. He's already laughing, right? Do you see what I'm doing though? They will love me or they will hate me, and I wasn't going to work with them anyway. But they will love me more. The people who love me will just be diehard fans because I am their diehard fan. I remember Adam's beard. I remember that Robert was a vet. I remembered all of these things, and they will just connect with me at such a deep level. All right. Um, OS, you said you're a single mom trying to get involved in real estate, low income. Moms are superpowers when it comes to real estate, especially because you can get into moms groups and I can't. Um, Moms groups are like some of the best places to get leads. And then everything I just taught you is most of it. I mean, Red X isn't free, but you can get into moms group and just do local events. Moms love local events. They've got kids. They need to get out of the house, all this stuff. You should be spoiling moms with awesome local events, sales, fairs, things that they can do that are free too. You're a single mom, low income. Great. That's your people. Go help single moms on low income just like you. What do you need? Some free events, right? Some helpful resources, some cool things you can do on a budget. Those are your people. They'll relate to you. You'll relate to them. Great. Go serve them. Go provide them value. Go put it in the moms groups, right? Go to those events. Do videos about it. If they're trying to get into buying a home, then you know they're on a budget. So then go show them these new construction homes that have the closing costs covered and have a rate buy down and different things like that. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see a couple more questions. If anybody needs to go, go ahead and go. It's after 10. Don't be shy. I'm going to try and get these last questions real quick. Price drop, are you looking for buyers and then talking to. Yeah, so Robert, you're kind of just doing both. So in the script, you'll see it. But basically, in the script, we're saying, hey, we're just having this price drop. Essentially, I'm paraphrasing because do you know anybody who'd want to buy this home? So essentially what the script boils down to. Do you know anybody? So you're technically looking for buyers, but what happens is you know you're calling homeowners because that's how you get the numbers, duh. And so you're also talking to them, and then you're going to be talking in the script. It'll paint all this for you. But then you're also talking about their needs and then potentially their listings because you'll actually get buyers and you'll get listings from this. So you get both. But you are calling for buyers first. That's how the script opens. Hey, we just did a price drop and it's $20,000 off. Like we're just trying to help our sellers find great neighbors. I'm sure you want to find great neighbors. Do you know anybody who would be an amazing fit for this home, right? And so that's usually what we do. Hopefully that made sense. Let's see. And then talking to prospect for listings with a potential lower price for the listing. Downward market. So you're saying talking to prospect for listings with a potentially lower price for the listing, downward market. How is this handled? Let me unmute you, and then you can tell me what you mean with that one because I don't quite understand, Robert, that one. So go ahead.
So you're calling your first call is you're calling because there's a price drop, and
Mm-hmm.
then you're talking to potential uh, listing clients
Mm-hmm.
in a down market. So you're saying, okay, example, the house down the street just dropped the price by $20,000. So potentially your house is now worth $20,000 less,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not good
I see
news.
what you're saying now. Okay, yeah, great question. And it will absolutely come up. Okay, it will come up that you will start doing the price drop call. You're calling these other homeowners, and you're basically telling them, "Hey, your home's worth less because this home's worth less, not on the same street." So one is oftentimes the homes are not exactly the same, right? Each home on each side of me is a different home, so it is categorically different. I will make a joke often to ease the tension. I'll go, let's say it's you, Robert, right? And I'm calling you, and then you ask that question. I'll go, good question, Robert. So here's the good news, okay? One out of every three will have a price drop. That was the one. And I'm hoping you will not be. I'll make jokes like that, like they'll just to get them to laugh. And then I'll be honest with them. Like, listen, I can't actually guarantee that, Robert, duh. But here's the thing, right? We are in a market, we're seeing it shift. How much equity do you have in your home right now? Just tell me. And then we'll even know if this makes sense. And then most people know if they're asking questions like that, that means they're usually somewhat aware. Okay, So then just answer me, yes or no. Is having 100K in your bank account right now going to do more or less for you in what you want out of life? If he says no, it's not going to help me more, I'm gonna be like, Robert, don't sell your house then. Just help me find someone to buy this one. I'm not going to try and get him to do something that's not good for him. That's a terrible thing to do. It's either going to make sense or not. And Robert might be like, well, yeah, honestly, 100K, I could do this. Maybe he doesn't really care that much because he's downsizing. Maybe he's moving to Florida. Maybe he has a job transfer. Right? I've had people move for medical reasons. I'm not going to assume that I know that price is the only reason that Robert's going to move. There are so many other reasons people move. And price drops prove that because the homes are still being sold and people are still moving despite the price drops. So that tells us there are bigger things happening than just price. Does that make sense?
Yep, that's good.
Sweet. I got you, bro. All right, let's see. So you sat at open houses for a builder at their new construction site. Yes, Stephanie, I sat at open houses wherever builders would let me, and I tried to do it consistently. Consistency is key. I picked the best median neighborhood for new construction who had great incentives, and then I would try and do 2 to 3 open houses with them every single week at the same time to build consistency so people knew where to find me. I would go live. I would promote it. Some of the 500 messages I would send on Facebook would be that. I worked very hard. Where are you doing the open houses for the new construction? So yeah, in model homes, plans, whatever they'll let me do. I prefer one of their open and available active homes to sell. Um, so I do them right inside the home itself. I'd get balloons. I mean, guys, you just don't even know. I tried everything. I had to. I was desperate to provide for my family. Um, let's see. Looks like we got it there. Angie, yes, in the slideshow for this, there's a sample, and in the replay, there's a sample screenshot. So we got you. Guys, it is 6 after. Look at that. We went from having too much time to too little. I hope you take action. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter so we can send you all the replays and the slides. Get involved in our Facebook group where you can ask more questions. And if I have time, I'll hook you up. Just tag me and we'll pour into you and see if we can just help you with more questions and support. Yeah. All right, guys. Have a great day. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Bye.